All right.
I'm thinking that turnout is going to be up because of the redistricting and Democrats getting fired up. So I'm thinking we may see double the Democrat turnout that we had in 2022.
I think you're spot on.
Interesting. What about
I
the
think
Republican side?
I think the Republicans are going to turn out big. You know, they understand the importance of voting now. They understand that it's important to vote in elections, particularly on the Republican side. I think the ads that all of our candidates have been running, I think is going to
Well, let me
turn a lot of folks out.
ask
We've
you
got
this.
great candidates here in the state. They're all good candidates. So I feel very optimistic. It's going to be a big turnout, but within both parties.
I think
Well, let me
4
ask you
years
this.
ago, a lot of the constitutional offices were incumbents running for their second term. I think mo the informed voters know that who they elect here in this Republican primary is probably going to be the person who serves in this office for the next 6 to 8 years. And this is your opportunity to really have an impact. So I expect
Uh,
Republican
uh,
turnout should be up some from 4 years ago. But I
okay.
think
Well,
I don't believe Democrat turnover can be worse than what it was in 2022.
all right. Let me ask you this though. Last time people were going to the polls, however you feel about him, to either vote for or vote against Mo Brooks. Is there a candidate anywhere on the Republican side that strikes those kind of emotions?
I don't see that candidate,
I don't either.
but it's like we had low turnout last time. So I'm not seeing where beating that number require. I mean, you say a bunch of
It
people
doesn't
showed
take
up
much.
because they didn't like Mo Brooks, but not, there wasn't a lot of people that showed up.
Yeah, it was only I think 15% Republican and 6% Democrat.
That's right. I think we've got just outstanding candidates, and they have their own supporters. And the only negative you're seeing are these people running these super PACs. And I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not. Uh, I do think it's going to be interesting. We talked about this earlier. I think in all the three top races, the gubernatorial election, the lieutenant governor race, the attorney general race, I think two of those races are going to be very, very close, and I think you're going to see turnout. I mean, you're going to see them go to a runoff because nobody's going to get 51% between the lieutenant governor's race or attorney general. I think uh, I think Senator Tuberville runoff, but you're going to see a very competitive race with the lieutenant governor and the attorney general and the United States Senate race. I think all of them. You'll see. You'll see them go to a runoff.
Well, let's start going through them. I mean,
Um,
some I've had a lot of candidates calling, I guess, seeking assurance of what I think, and I've told them I said, anything short of Senator Tuberville or Coach not winning, nothing will shock me. So, what do y'all think about the lieutenant governor's race?
Lieutenant governor's race, I think Wes Allen, because he has name recognition, he's currently the Secretary of State. I think he gets in the runoff. Now, who he's going to be in the runoff with, the voters will decide that, I think, tomorrow.
I think they're all, you got good candidates in that particular race.
Yeah.
Uh, I, you know, I love Pate. He's a great guy, but it looks like he's more geared to be like a commissioner of agriculture, not lieutenant governor. And I think it's going to be, since Trump has endorsed John Wall, I think Wall and West are going to be in the runoff. But, you know, I could be wrong, but I just think that's the way all the errors are pointing that way.
I tend to agree with you. I was really surprised that Commissioner Pate was not able to
Yeah, I
gain
think
traction
Nicole,
in
if
this
there's a,
race.
you're kind of wondering, is there really a candidate for Republican women at all on this ballot? And if there is, really, I mean, it's that in AG's race.
But based on the
I've been
polling,
told that, and I mean, I don't know. This was not telling me. She didn't say it was off the record, but according to her and her internal polls have her in second place. Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people are saying they're in second place in a lot of these races. I'm skeptical of that.
listen, I love Nicole. I think she's great, but I'm just telling you, I do think Donald J. Trump's endorsement helps candidates when they get endorsed. So, so I think he's in the runoff with Wes. Nicole certainly would be a great lieutenant governor, but I just think that's the way things are shaking out.
Well, let me ask you this though, Brian. You talked about internal polls. Have y'all seen any poll that you really trust though? I mean, everyone I've seen is just about Yellowhammer News.
No, I mean, Ronnie Walker's got a poll out. I mean, uh,
Have you seen that
Yes,
one?
where he's at polling like 26%.
they're trying to fire up their voters and get them to the polls. They're trying to keep their donors happy. I mean, I mean, somebody's obviously got some good polling data, but unless all the specifics are released to the public, I don't trust it.
Well, the poll that we're
Has he got one that's got Rodney at like at 26%?
interesting. I know he's been
Is it the one?
working hard.
Is it the one? Is it the one that's got Rodney at like at 26%?
It's
Yeah, I think it's something like that. Yeah, I've seen,
Yeah, I mean, he's
and
telling me it's at
I've seen one
26%.
of the campaigns put out that had Rodney at one
Yeah, he's between 1 or 26.
runoff. Now we'll be in the runoff with Rodney or Jared or Steve. I'm not sure.
it's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out. I don't think anybody knows for sure. Everybody knows the Trump endorsement of Barry Strong's new road.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't answer that.
Yeah, I think Ray behind Jared Hudson, and that is helping him make a run here in the late stage of the race. Everybody likes the serviceman, the law and order guy.
They do, but I'll tell you this, and y'all were both in Talladega, and there were people coming up of all walks of life telling Rodney they were going to support him for U.S. Senate. So I think he's got a solid majority of folks out there that like him. So
Too.
I agree, 100%.
I
Yes.
hear that Barry Moore's terrified of getting in the runoff with Steve Marshall. I mean, not Marshall, but Hudson.
Um, my information is their preference would be they were against Steve, but
Yeah, that's what I've heard
you can
too.
never trust what a campaign is saying, especially this close to a race entirely.
Well, let me tell you this. I would be nervous if I was Barrett and Jared got in the race with me because he's straight up badass. And people in Alabama like that stuff. I'm just telling you. And he's a
That's
great
true.
guy. His ads are good coming out of the church. You know, guy gets in the runoff or not, because you got a lot of good Rodney's a great candidate. Uh, the guy that seems to be falling off the cliff is Steve Marshall. And I don't know how he's going to do. He's a nice guy.
I,
I'm just not sure
I,
that's going to work.
I haven't liked the direction of his campaign over the last several months,
Mm.
but he still is the only one in this campaign who's run two statewide races before. You know, he
That's
has the
why I
name
think he's the most
recognition.
dangerous.
So
Yeah,
if
that's
you
why I
see a
think
lot
he's
of
the most.
people come to the polls late, Steve could be the beneficiary.
What's that? What were you going to say,
No,
Chris?
that's what I agree with that. I think Steve is still going to be Barry's strongest opponent in the runoff just because of his name recognition in inner circles with Republican voters.
In North Alabama, where he's
Yeah, but you got to remember,
from, and
65% of your
that's
voters
where
come
at least what
from Jefferson County and
60% of the
above,
votes are.
right? Yeah.
Right.
So if he runs
And
it
I
up
think
in
the
North
fact,
Central Alabama,
and he's the redistricting case.
Yeah.
It's going to
Now, what about this attorney general's race? There's like three candidates, and it's like you can't figure out who is in first and who is in second. It's like it seems like it changes every week.
the one consensus I get is just about everybody I talk to thinks Casey's in the runoff. Whether that's true or not, I guess we'll see. Everybody else is
Yeah, and
divided
Pam
on.
Casey's hard to beat because she is the actual prosecutor in the room. But now she doesn't
Yeah.
have the money that, Catherine Robertson or Jay Mitchell have poured into this. And
I still think uh, just on the Alabama Supreme Court, people like that. They know what he believes in. I remember when I was a delegate to the Reagan convention when I was about 18 or 19 years old, and Jay was like 10 years old, and he had Reagan stuff all over him. And he's just always been a strong, committed conservative. And I think he would be one heck of a good attorney general. But I think Catherine would too. And I love Casey. I love all three of them. I wish we could appoint them to be a prosecutor and attorney general because they're all good. All three of them.
Well, let me tell you something Casey did that I thought was just ingenious. I get a mail out from Jay every day, but I got
Yes,
a
sir.
letter. It was a hand addressed envelope to me, and I was reading it, and I was 2 sentences into it before I realized it was a letter from Pam Casey asking me to vote for her. I've been saying that for years. People are more apt to open a hand addressed envelope than they are one
Yes.
of these mail outs. That I don't know how many people she reached with that, but that was ingenious. I think the voters she probably touched with that.
That's strong. That's really strong.
now maybe I'm in different here, but I think Caroline Dobson has this second. There's two other candidates, and we had Chris Horn on the podcast. I think Caroline's going to win that with like 70% of the vote. Maybe I'm missing it. What do y'all think?
I think she wins without a runoff. I don't know if she'll get 70%, but I think she could very possibly win by getting 53% of the vote because she's been out there and people know her. They seem to like her. And being a conservative female today Republican is very, very popular. And that's what and been a great prosecutor.
I think she wins too. I mean, I've heard numbers like you've heard, Brandon, but I can tell you right now on my website, the number one search name is Chris Horn, Christian Horn, Christian Horn.
Yeah, I like Chris Horn. I just don't see where he has good name recognition in North Alabama. I don't know that anybody south of Birmingham knows who he is.
Good guy.
Good guy, but without the campaign dollars, I think he's going to come behind Caroline. And Caroline ran pretty strong, 2 years ago for Congress down here at the second.
I like Chris. I wish we could find a spot for Chris.
What about the state
'Cause
auditor's
I
race?
think he's a
What do y'all have in this?
which race?
State auditor.
Auditor. Okay.
Yeah, that's gone real negative here in the last week. I mean, Andrew's hitting Chin, Chin's hitting Andrew. I think Chin started it. I kind of think it's Andrews to lose at this point. I think Chin went negative because something in the poll says he had to.
Well, I talked to Chin about his ad, and he pointed something out. He said, nothing I said
What's
was
that?
untrue. Chin said either Andrew got duped by the Ponzi scheme and fell for it, or he was implicit in it. I said, okay, because I've had people just infuriated that Chin's running that ad.
I'm kind of with Andrew on this. I mean, I think when somebody as rich as that Georgia billionaire wants you to be in one of his business deals, you just assume, like if Donald Trump called before he was president and said, Brandon, hey, I've got a deal I want to do. I'm offering you a 30-second share in it. And, I had the money. I'd probably be like, yeah, hey, I trust Donald Trump. And I think Andrew was a little bit young and a little bit too trusting. And he trusted this Georgia billionaire guy who has donated to his campaign in the past and been a family friend. And I just think he got duped. And if what the SEC is saying, that this guy is a professional at duping people, apparently. So I don't, I mean, will it hurt Andrew? Sure. Is it enough to make Derek Chin the auditor? I don't know.
Well, you would think Andrew would know. I mean, how many times did he serve in the legislature?
He did one term in the legislature and one term as auditor.
And then he's been on the state executive committee. So he probably should have been aware of some of that, but it is what it is. People get duped all the time, and the guy may have tricked him. I don't know. But bottom line is, I'm not sure who's going to come out in that race. I know the Chin's getting a lot of support from different
A lot of business community just loves Derek Chin. I think he's got the Alpha endorsement. He's got the BCA endorsement.
I think he's a very successful businessman, and I think that has helped him.
Let me say two things here.
Yes,
I know Andrew, and he says he was duped, and until he's is proven otherwise, I'm going to trust that Andrew is honest because I believe that. And
Yes,
and then something else too. I mean, Derek has spent so much money. Is he going to overwhelm him with that? Oh yeah. I remember. What I was going to say. What I say too. I think that Andrew
Derek had to spend the money to get name recognition, so that we're even having this conversation.
True.
I mean, and again, because Derek has money and was able to spend money and was able to raise money, he's in this race. Is it enough to carry him over the finish against the incumbent auditor? That I'm not sure about.
well, let me just tell you this. I mean, I didn't fall off that banana boat yesterday. I know Alabama voters. That name does not sound like a typical Alabama candidate. So
Very true.
That played in Andrew's favor. I'm just telling you,
No, I don't disagree with that at all.
Be
I think
politically correct about it. I'm just telling you that's the fact.
No, you're being 100% honest. I mean, I've had people call and ask me, is he an agent of the Chinese Communist government? I mean, yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, just to be honest with you, him being Asian, I think it's going to hurt him some in this primary. I mean, it's just. But do you think that Andrew made him into a sympathetic figure though when he pulled back from the Secretary of State's office after campaigning for a year?
I think a lot of people committed to Derek Chin
early.
early because Andrew wasn't running for real. I'm not sure Derek Chin even runs if Andrew hadn't declared for Secretary of State, making the auditor an open position. But
No, he
then
was still Secretary of
once
State.
Derek was in and was spending hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Hmm.
it wasn't like he was going to drop out of the race because Andrew got cold feet running against Caroline Dobson, whom between you and me he probably wasn't going to beat anyway. So I think he got made the best choice politically. But um,
Well,
again, it dug a hole there because a lot of people once
Committed.
people commit and says I'm behind Derek Chin, they don't want to take their commitment away.
That's
I
true.
mean, people in Alabama still take honor seriously.
Right. I agree with you.
well, hold on. Well, let me tell y'all this story. See if y'all have heard of this.
Okay.
Derek Chin was supposedly going to run for Secretary of State. Andrew Sorrell met with him in Thanksgiving of 2025 and talked him out of running for Secretary of State and told him to run for state auditor. That if he didn't run for if he was running for Secretary of State, asked him not to run and told him he'd be perfect for the auditor's position. Fast forward a year later on qualifying day, Derek's going ready to speak in South Alabama somewhere, and Sorrell promised him the only way he would drop back to the Secretary of State's race is if Wes Allen didn't run for lieutenant governor. And he texted him on qualifying day and said, "Hey, I've decided to run for re-election." That's
Well, if I was Chin, I'd use that.
I
I'd
would
use all
too.
Yeah, but I don't know how much of that is true and how much of that is. But
if it's
I think it's a
fact.
little bit late in the cycle here with it.
Well, I would have used it earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What about the Commissioner of Agriculture race? There's three strong candidates. They're all spending money out the wazoo. I really don't have a handle on who is up in that.
The person I would give the edge to, but again, I don't know if anybody's paying attention to this, but McKenna said a lot like she would need it anyway, but she vowed not to take a salary. Do you think that'll play a factor?
Again, I don't know. I mean, kind of, if you tell me you're not taking a salary, it kind of means you're so rich you don't need the job anyway, which
And that's a typical Democrat statement. I'm just telling you. I think it plays good for her. I really do. I think that plays good for her. I think she's an attractive candidate. I think she's sharp. I know her family, but I also know Jack. And if you look at Jack and his farming operation, he looks like the kind of guy you would want to be your commissioner of agriculture. He just fits all the pieces of the puzzle. But and the other gentleman that's a former mayor,
Corey Hill. I saw him in Elwha County just Saturday. And, again, I don't think anybody south of, Birmingham knows who he is, but don't underestimate the ability of the people in North Alabama to just rally behind their guy. And in a three-way, that might be all it takes to be in this runoff.
it's hard to, but if you look at it and the people that I've seen out there, it's either McInnes or Jack. That's the ones I'm running into, the circles I run into now. But I'm not in Marshall County. I think that's what.
Yeah, Marshall County.
So
what does Huntsville do? What does DeKalb County do? What does Florence do?
Blunt.
You
I mean, you got 60,000 people in Blunt County. Walker.
That's right. Exactly. No question.
I mean,
that's a fact. That's where 65% of the
yeah, I
vote
mean, a
is.
lot.
65% from Birmingham up. I mean, when you start getting those little neighborhoods like in Jefferson County, Trussville, Gardendale, Fultondale, Pinson.
At all, outside of, the ads and whatnot.
But it's going to be a hotly contested race, so that one would be interesting to follow.
What about the Democrat candidate for governor? I mean, is there anybody there strong enough to force Doug Jones into runoff, or does he just walk away with this? Yeah, I don't know how
Yeah.
all this redistricting thing and all this, people flocking to Alabama to vote, upset because we're going to lose Shamari Figures as a congressman. Do those people then vote Doug Jones over Yolanda Flowers and Will Boyd and Jamal Brown? I mean,
I don't think so. I think the higher the black turnout
and
is
again,
going
it's
to
the
hurt
fact that
Jones.
there's
In
three
the
or four
months,
well, there's three black Democrat candidates
we,
and three white candidates,
I mean,
but
I've been saying this for. I think the higher black turnout hurts Jones worse. I've been saying this for months. He's
yeah, I
the
think
Democrat
definitely there's
primary.
going to be a higher Democrat turnout and it's going to be a higher black turnout than what we saw 4 years ago.
I
Yeah,
agree with
I'm
you,
saying
Chris. I'm just telling you,
they're voting for
I'd
the
be
black
scared to
candidate.
death if I was
They're
Doug.
going.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'd be
Doug
scared
has
to death
said
if
that
I
he's
was Doug
got
Jones.
this. Doug has
Yeah,
promised Bill
I mean,
Baxley. I was talking to him yesterday that he's going to win this.
Well, he
They're
better
going
have
to
a lot
vote for
of
people named.
buses full of watermelons. I'm just going to tell
no,
you that
we can't say
that's
that.
what they used to do all the
Well,
time.
no,
And
we
that
can't
was a
say that
fact,
now. Yeah, no,
you know.
no.
Oh man. But I'm not
I
saying
mean,
that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's what took place for years in Alabama.
I'm
Well,
saying they're
yeah,
going
I
to
mean,
vote for.
if there is a big turnout, how do those people break? And you can make the argument that 4 years ago, it was the Democrats in the know, the ones that go to meetings
Yeah.
and go to debates. They decided who the nominee was going to be because Mrs. Flowers was really nice to them and, sounded good in the debates and they liked her praying with them and everything. I kind of think with the redistricting, you're going to have a bunch of people that did not vote in the Democrat primary 4 years ago suddenly show up
I agree.
to make their voices heard. Do they?
It's just like they had a big downtown march in
Yeah,
Montgomery.
it was
And
huge.
Cory Booker came and AOC was here.
Well, I'll tell you.
Country, right?
Well,
And
Look,
I think it was all
I
roads lead to Alabama was the march. So they came to Selma and they came to Montgomery. I don't think there was a big protest in Birmingham.
so I'm like Chris,
But-
I think it's gonna be and like you, I think it's gonna be a huge black turnout in the
I
Democrat.
mean, if I was advising Doug, we would have spent $1 million in the last 30 days of this. But
look, I'm just
I mean,
like I'm
he's
looking
saying
at
he has it and he doesn't need to spend it. So, I mean, he could
I'm
wake up
looking
on
at
Wednesday
the.
and be in a runoff. Is all
He
I'm
could
saying.
wake up on Wednesday and be defeated. I'm looking at
Well,
the.
he's not going to be third.
All right, I'm looking. I'm telling you, if Yolanda carries Jefferson County and Jamel carries like I'm thinking he is, where's Doug's votes coming from?
But
White
Doug
liberal
Jones has
mountain
more name recognition than every other candidate in the Democrat
I
field by a
understand,
factor of
Brand,
10.
but the black voters are not going to vote for the white man. I'm looking at all the Facebook posts on Jamel Brown that's saying vote against the white man, vote for the black man, vote for the person that looks like you. Look at the 2008 Democratic presidential nomination. I know that's different, but who did the blacks vote for? Voted for.
Oh yeah. It's
What do you think, Barry?
it's people like
And I can't really fault Democrat primary voters in 2008 for not trusting Hillary Clinton.
Well, yeah, but you're going to trust somebody's been in the Senate for 3 years.
interesting on it's going to be interesting on what candidates in the Democrat Party are thinking now. Maybe I should have run like a Stephen Reed or somebody like that that would be able to probably raise money out of DC and other places to get nominated in the Democratic Party.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, you'd have Stephen Reed
they just
candidate.
completely redid District 2. Who is running for that now? I mean, poor Shamari Figures. I mean, he lives in Mobile, and Mobile just got kicked back into one. I can't see him running in two.
No.
I mean,
No, he could be go keep teaching at Columbia or somewhere.
yeah, I mean, there are jobs for him where he would do pretty good. Losing to Hampton Harris or Rhett Marquez in,
Listen,
November.
there's probably going to be 10 others running in that race before it's over with. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, if
Poor
anybody wants to
Hampton.
qualify to run for Congress in District 1, District 2, District 6,
Yes.
or District 7, they open qualifying on Wednesday and it closes on Friday. I've already been on the phone to the Democrat Party, and I've got a qualified opens at some point on Wednesday, and it closes at 5 o'clock on Friday.
Well, what do y'all think about the PSC? We ain't talked about that, have we?
I'm kind of thinking Matt Gentry beats Jeremy Oden. I like Jeremy, but I think it may be time. I think a lot
I
of
like
folks-
Jeremy. I like Jeremy too, but that sheriff has run one heck of a campaign. First of all, he's got pictures, saying that he's Trump's sheriff, and that's strong as new rope. And then he's been running some negative campaigning against Jeremy, and that thing seems to be pretty strong. So I love Jeremy. I think he's a good guy and he's done a good job, but I think he's in trouble. As
Well,
far
Jeremy
as
Firewall always been Coleman County.
what now?
Jeremy's firewall's always been Coleman County. That's always what's pushed him over the top in the last 3 elections. And now running against a popular sheriff from that county, I don't see there's no way he can
Yeah, I don't think he carries Coleman County.
I think
That's-
I think you're right, Chris. And then you got the Jim Ziegler race,
Yeah,
the Zieg, and I think he's definitely in the runoff.
yeah, Zig is in the runoff. I just don't know with who. I mean, is Beaker,
Yeah, I don't know.
the Beaker ad going to be enough, or is it being there with Brent Woodall? And
I
there's like
agree
two
with
other
you.
people in there.
I think it could go either way between Beaker and Woodall. I think Ziegler's in there,
I do
but
too. I do too.
um,
But the thing that's got going with Beaker is that he's first. He's the first name on the ballot in that race. So that's sometimes
now ain't
helps
that a girl,
people.
Patricia Andrews? Priscilla Andrews? Isn't that woman from South Alabama named Andrews?
Chris, with those particular races, with all those kind of races, people that's down the ballot race, people are going to look for the first name. So that could help her.
Yeah,
No question.
half of the voters will be gone, between governor, senator, and like I say, it's a Z, so it's going to be the very end.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But he
But
does
one
what's
thing
the
that
Democrat candidate for senator? The only candidate in there that we've been able to really talk to, I think we've had him on a couple of times, is Dakari Lariat, the black guy from New York.
let
He'll
me
be our first openly black gay senator
let-
from the state of Alabama. I mean,
Hey, hold on.
Sweetster
let me
and the chemist and that Weiss guy. I mean,
I've been
Hey,
seeing a little
let
bit
me.
about the Democrat. Is he running for lieutenant governor?
no, I'm talking
What's
about
his name?
senator. Yeah, you're thinking of Philip Ensler.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen
Philip Ensler. Philip Ensler is going to win that nomination.
been seeing some of his ads, and they're pretty effective, I think.
Yeah, I think he's a very
Hey, let me go.
credible candidate. I just don't
Let
think
me.
of any of the Democrats running for Senate as being all that having run a credible campaign. I mean,
What about the Democrat
Hey,
for
hold on. Let me.
Commissioner of Agriculture?
yeah, now Ron Sparks, I mean, he's not going to be on the ballot. People that have never run a campaign.
He's not to the left like the rest of them.
Yeah.
And so,
But that's
Hey,
necessarily a bad thing in a Democrat primary.
but he didn't have
Let
any.
me
He has no opponent.
I want to go back. Let me go back to the PSC thing for just a minute.
Yes, sir.
Wood asked me if I thought he had a chance, and I said for something
Well,
y'all
of course he
touched
has
on.
a
I said
chance.
yes because, well, I said but when by the time they get down ballot races, the people that's going to be paying attention to that are political people that are pissed off as hell at the Public Service Commission. So I said, yeah, I think you've got a real legitimate shot of getting in there.
Yeah, I mean that, yeah, maybe half the ballot's not voting for that, but somebody is, and the first people that do, it's people, people like to tell us majority rules. The majority
Right.
don't rule
No.
jack in this country. It's the people who show up on primary day, and in Alabama, that's the Republican primary that decide what happens in this state. I mean, because again,
hmm
I may not think Brent Woodall is all that strong a candidate, but what does a Republican primary voter who has been seen ads and gone to the events and,
I think
taken her time to read?
I think the incumbents and the public service cause.
The powers of the power rank.
Yes, and I think that's going to be a reflection in how people vote. I'm just telling you, I just feel that way.
hmm
And there may be a reason
I
why
agree 100%.
Twinkle wanted to get out of it and get another appointment and not
Well,
wait to have to run for reelection. And she was probably smart
Last time
to
Robert
do that.
McCollum got 40% of the vote against her. Let that sink in.
Yeah. And that was a very weak candidate.
That was weak, but look at
Yeah. Yeah.
the public.
We have to remember all those people from Coleman North that, are in TVA,
Yes.
they're not as motivated by bump power rates. They're like, they pay 60%
Right.
less than we do. They're perfectly comfortable. How do those people, who do they vote for and what?
I don't know. I don't know
There's enough
how you
people in
gauge that one.
Huntsville and, Scottsboro that don't
Yeah.
pay album power rates and aren't mad at album power, that is like they just go with the name ID.
But they still see
I
some
agree.
of the negative
Yeah, they do
ads.
see the negativity. Well, Christopher, I think we've covered it just about as much as you want to cover it.
Where are you going to be election night, Chris?
I guess I'm gonna go down there with Rodney Walker and then over to Tuberville's place. What about you?
That's where I'll be. So I look forward to seeing you at both of those places. I'm going to do Rodney, which will be at Vulcan. No, Tuberville's at Vulcan and Rodney's at D Club. So hopefully I'll see you at both of those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll. I mean, I expect Tuberville to win, but
Yeah, that
how
one thing,
big
what's
a
the over under?
percent does he win
85%,
by? If he pulls
86%?
85, 90%, that's just.
You think he get 90?
I think he could get 90. I mean, there are some people who like Kim McPheters, but I mean, whoever votes for McPheters or Scariza, most of them, it's just an anti-Tuberville. It's like I
Yeah,
don't
but
want
that's what I'm wondering. Is
Tommy
there
to go
that
in
many
there.
anti-Tuberville people out there?
Yeah, I don't think there are. So that's why I'm thinking
Right.
85 or 90 is, of course, I'll be on the high end, but I think
If
that's very possible.
that's why we need party registration, though. But I'm just going to tell you right now, of course, Doug can't worry about who's voting in the Republican primary. But if he was the nominee and didn't have all this, he'd probably be.
All right, I'm gonna go out on
Do
a
what?
limb. All right, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Doug Jones, third place.
I'm going to say 80%. He's gonna say 87%.
87%.
All right. You ever
Well,
watch
so
What are
about
you gonna
Doug?
say, Chris?
I say 82.
82. I
Okay,
can't
you're
believe
like in the
I
middle
can't
there.
believe
You're the most anti-Tuberville person in this podcast.
I love Coach
I,
too.
I like Kobe, but Doug Jones is third place Wednesday morning.
Doug Jones wins it, and I think he wins it without a runoff.
Jamel Brown
I
first,
disagree.
Yolanda Flowers
think it's-
second, Doug Jones third.
I think he's gonna be in a runoff for sure. I don't think he wins over 50%.
I think it'll be Doug Jones without a runoff, but it's going to be a whole lot closer than Doug thought it was going to be. And I bet he's wishing he spent like $500,000 to, get
And
his name out
I
there.
imagine Stephen Reed is saying, "Why didn't I run?"
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
my
all right, gentlemen.
gonna be interesting.
Stephen Reed might be running for be the next congressman in CD2 now.
That's
Yeah, that's true.
There's no reason Shamari running. He don't even live anywhere near the place.
I don't see him doing that because it's going to be a 70-some-odd% district. I think it's whoever wins that Republican primary, and I'm telling you, there may be 10 candidates before they close the date.
But we're not
Yeah.
done with we're not done with battling in federal court on that. There's still civil rights groups that have gone to federal court and are asking to cancel the primary years and years, as we're finding out. So
Yeah, well, that's all Marshall needs to do is just ask for a summary judgment and end it with the U.S. Supreme Court. End it.
well, it's at
Yeah.
the 11th circuit.
I know it, but still, they could intervene in some capacity. So,
But after the 11th circuit rules,
and hopefully they'll rule soon.
and hopefully Alabama's favor. But
I think they will. Hopefully.
All right,
All right,
guys.
brother. I love being on your show.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you,
Thanks,
Brandon. I'll see y'all
Christopher.
tomorrow. All right, buddy.
Hope to
Thank
see
you.
you soon. Yes, sir.
Oh.